Sleepy Jean. Here he is, the man himself, Davy Jones. And you know what, Davy, I just have to say, I cannot think of the number of teenage girls that had the picture of you hanging in their bedroom.
Well, the young lady said to me the other day she used to keep my picture on her bedroom wall, and she used to kiss the television when the Monkees were on, but I think that could have been very dangerous because we had those electrified carpets, you know. Can you imagine? She kissed the TV and oh dear, I know, because I got third-degree burns from watching I Dream a Genie, but I can't talk about that right now.
No, but you haven't skipped a beat. You still are as charming and as good-looking as you were back then, Davy.
Oh,
come on.
Please,
just doing your sound check up here.
No,
yes,
stop.
Yes.
You know, it's difficult being 63 years old and being called cute or whatever it might be, but, you know, I wrote a song the other day, and I write songs all the time. I wrote 200 songs, and that was just yesterday morning. But no, I write songs, and I kind of come up with a title, and I wrote a song the other day, and it said, remember me. It was a love song, but it said, remember me the way you hoped I'd be. So it's sort of like, you know, you get this title of, you know, celebrity once you've had a successful event or career or however long it takes these days. I don't know. You know, are you a celebrity once you've been on American Idol, or are you a celebrity if you're a newscaster or a radio personality? It all depends how you feel. But, you know, we don't choose to be examples, but we are. And we don't, you know, all of a sudden you become a personality, and you become better looking, you become, you know, more intelligent, more articulate. Some people become taller, and you get all these things that you're not really. And so my dad said an important thing to me when I was first leaving home. He said, son, remember, you don't always have to carry the flag at the front of the parade. And I went, what does that mean? And then years later I realized it, because it's such a treacherous business, show business. It's like a minefield, and, you know, there's all these ups and these downs, and there's all these disappointments and these successes, and, you know, you just have to, when that curtain comes down, close it off, and then just relax and become a regular, ordinary person, you know what I mean? You know, if there's a line and you have to get in it, all right? Don't be such a prima donna, you know? And obviously the Monkees went all over the world, and I go places and people, you know, they appreciate what they saw and they recognize me, and it becomes somewhat of a responsibility. But I always know that when I've left them and finished talking to them, at least they have some kind of, you know, impression of who I am, or who I'm trying to be, or who I want to be, who I was. You know, it's very difficult, you know. I get a little tired sometimes, and I get a little sort of, you know, anxious about, you know, the way people might think about me. But, you know, as I say, I still do all the things. I still get mad when I lose a game of darts. And, you know, you know, if the ball goes in the alley, you know, and I'm bowling, you know, what an idiot. You know, what am I doing? Concentrate. I mean, my highest game was 238 once when I was a kid. You know, that's a good bowling average. Well, not an average. My average was about 210. Honestly, it was. When I was in New York, when I was 16, 17, I was on Broadway in a show. And, you know, it was a great time. You know, I was hanging out with people like Judy Garland and Buddy Rich and Tony Newley and Joan Collins and Georgia Brown and all these people that, you know, were sort of revered in those days. And I didn't know. I was just taking them as they were. And so that's why I like people to take me as, you know what I mean? You can't keep carrying this flag with you all the time and saying, do you know who I am? You know?
No.
And I don't want to do any of that stuff.
And you've rolled with the punches. You've got new records out. You've got new sound. You're traveling. You're getting out there. And I think that's wonderful. In your mind, Davy, if the Monkees were still together, what would they be doing? What kind of music would they be playing?
It all depends how we collaborate, you know. It's very difficult when you're in a band, and you wonder why these bands who have so much success and all of a sudden they break up. You know, you know from your own experience in Canada, we got some amazing bands. You know, you got some great groups that come out of Canada, and they travel the world, and it's the fatigue of the travel. It's the fatigue of the success and the occasion that brings people down, and they don't know how to deal with it. And that's why some guys drink too much, or some guys turn to drugs. You know, you always hear about this rehab thing and about these people coming in and out. Yeah, there's probably times in my career and over the years since I started in the business that probably I should have checked myself before I had the umpteenth beer, you know, and not taken it a chance. But, you know, I was lucky to come through it. I'm lucky to be where I am right now. I've tried not to offend people when I leave. I try to endorse show business as being something that's not just about coming out of Mr. Chow's and being vulgar to the paparazzi or whatever. If you don't want to have these people take pictures of you and you don't want to be seen, go to Denny's, okay? And go to bed at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and you'll feel a lot better in the morning, you know? And you won't have to, you know, tart up and do all the things that you do. But I think it's very interesting. I think the more, and you see these people working and working and working, and I've watched people grow older, you know, from the time, you know, Tom Hanks started, you know, and now he's co-producing with, you know, Spielberg, you know. I mean, I often think also when I see people on the television and in the movies, why don't you just go home for a couple of years and give someone else a chance? You know, give it a break. I travel all over the world, and I sing this song, Daydream Believer, and I'm a believer, and Last Train to Clarksville, and Pleasant Valley Sunday. And people say, aren't you sick of singing those songs? It's a different audience every time. So I have to feel different. I don't take my problems to the stage. I don't do anything but try to be the best I can, and I always say to myself, they had better be good if they come after me, because I am going to go out there and I'm going to kick butt tonight, you know. I'm going to make sure that I make people laugh. I'm going to make sure that I have people have a good time. You know, it's tough to get people out of their homes with all the other benefits that they have these days.
Yeah, you've got a lot of distraction, and you have so much tenacity and so much appeal. And I would imagine your family now has really grounded you and changed you in a lot of ways, too.
Yeah, my kids, my daughters. My eldest is 40, my youngest is 21. And, you know, they've gone through changes, too, as they grow up. And so to set an example and to see how other parents treat their children and how they've, you know, adapted to growing up. You know, I'm still basically, you know, growing up too. I'm searching for my own answers. You know, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. And I've learned to say to myself, think from the end, because everything you do affects somebody else. And so you got to be careful what you say. And then I realized the happiness. There's no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. So I'm not being a preacher. I'm just being a truthful, you know, sort of humanitarian, you know what I mean? And, you know, whether it be to help somebody, it's always benefiting to you to help somebody else with something. I don't mean necessarily monetarily. I just whatever it might be. You know, I was coming through the casino, and there was a guy, you know, with a walker, whatever, and I said to him, do you need to get out? He said, oh no, I'm okay, I can handle with it. He says, but thanks for asking. I mean, it was a natural thing. It wasn't something that oh, I'm going to help this man because he's got a walker. I just thought, and I didn't think, okay,